You don't owe silence to anyone that hurt you. Hey y'all, this is Crystal and welcome back to Unpolished. This episode wasn't planned. I didn't sit down with notes. I didn't outline anything. Actually, it's just me and Duke laying in the bed. Duke is my Velcro baby. Okay. I didn't even plan to record today. I'm laying in the bed right now. I don't feel good. I pulled a muscle. I had a procedure done. I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm just not feeling my best. I'm actually trying to rest. That's all I wanted to do today. Rest my body, quiet my mind. I'm a bit irritated. I can't go to the gym. I can't work out. I can't do all of the things that I normally do. And normally I am a busybody. I am on the go constantly. I'm constantly doing something. So like this has really slowed me down, and it's made me think, and it's made me reflect of maybe I do need to slow down in real life. Maybe I do not need to have some resting moments. And it's actually reminded me that I probably go so hard all the time because I don't want to slow down, because when I slow down, I think about things I probably don't want to deal with and don't want to think about. So I just go to push those thoughts out of my mind. So my mind wouldn't stop. And usually when that happens, I've learned it's because something is pressing on me that needs to be said. Not later, but needs to be said right now. Not when I feel better, but needs to be said right now. Not when it's polished or pretty, but needs to be said right now. And right now is exactly how it is. Dude, do you want to talk to him? No, you just want to rest? Okay. I got me a snack here, some Trolleys. Y'all ever had them? Them sour bright crawlers. Now, I only like the red and the blue ones and the yellow and the red ones. I don't eat the green and the orange ones. But I've been on a sour kick. I don't know. Ever since the anesthesia wore off, I've been wanting stuff sour. It's weird. I'm normally not a sour girly, but here we are. Anywho, I got a phone call today. And the phone call today hurt my feelings. And I was in my feelings for a minute, but I was like, you know what? We're going to have to think about this, right? And the phone call said something like, I can't believe you talk about your life on your podcast. You shouldn't say the things you say. Everybody doesn't need to know what you've been through, and some things should just stay secrets. And I've been laying here thinking about that all day. And I said, you know what? We about to talk about it. We're going to have a whole podcast episode about it if you want to talk about it. Because when someone says that to you, it doesn't land as concern. It lands as control. And it took me a minute to realize that while I was in my feelings, while my feelings were hurt. It was like, hold up. They're not concerned about my well-being. They're concerned about the control. It feels like someone's trying to put you back in a box like that you've already clawed your way out of. You know, it feels like someone saying your healing is inconvenient for me. And you know what? What really hurts the most is that those words usually come from people who know how much it took for you to survive in the first place. Because they know what you've been through. They see it. They witnessed it. They was there. You know, that's why it hurts the most. So I started asking myself, why does honesty make people so uncomfortable? Why does truth feel threatening to people who weren't threatened when you were being hurt? You know what I'm saying? You wasn't threatened when you was the one hurting me. So why are you threatened now when I'm speaking on it and telling the truth about it? What do you mean I can't talk about what hurt me? What do you mean I have to protect someone else's image at the cost of my healing? And that's what we're about to talk about. We praise silence like it's maturity, like it's strength, like it's grace. But silence is not strength when it's forced. Silence is not maturity when it's demanded. And silence is not grace when it protects harm. There are so many people walking around carrying secrets that are crushing them. Secrets they didn't create. Secrets that were handed to them through betrayal, neglect, abuse, manipulation, abandonment. And then somehow the responsibility becomes theirs to keep quiet. You're told these things like, don't say anything, don't stir things up, don't make it messy, just move on. But nobody ever asks what it cost you to survive. I don't talk about my life to be messy. I don't talk about my life to hurt people. I don't talk about my life because I enjoy reliving pain. I talk because I remember sitting in silence thinking, is this normal? Is it supposed to feel like this? Am I crazy for feeling this way? Is everyone else just handling this better than me? And I remember thinking, I must be alone because ain't nobody going through what I'm going through. And if telling my story helps one person realize they're not alone, then it's worth it. Keeping secrets from people who intentionally harmed you does not make you strong. It makes you stuck. It makes you controlled by them. Let me say that one more time. Keeping secrets for someone who intentionally harmed you does not make you strong. It makes you stuck. Okay? They are controlling you. It keeps you carrying shame that doesn't even belong to you. It keeps you protecting people who never protected you. And it teaches you to believe your pain is something to hide. You see, while I sat in this bed and I thought about this and I thought about that phone call that I received of why are you telling your story on the podcast? Why are you talking about everything you've been through in your life? It made me think of something about this individual that called me. You see, everybody wants to tell everybody else's business, including that individual who called me, right? Everybody wants to tell everybody else's business. They want to get on Facebook. They want to share stories. They want to laugh at people. They want to talk about people in the comments. They want to share arrest records. They want to do all those things. People will repeat rumors. They'll gossip. They'll dissect other people's lives. But the moment someone says, this is how you treated me, this is what happened to me, this hurt me, all of a sudden it's, why can't you keep that private? Why do you have to say it like that? You're doing too much. You should have just let it go. You're doing the most. You know all the things. Girl, you've heard it. I know you've heard it. We've all heard it. But let me tell you something. Why should you or why should I have to take something to our grave that almost buried us? You're not the problem because you were a victim. I'm not the problem because I was a victim. And I'm not responsible and you're not responsible for preserving the image of someone who hurt you. Duke, you just snoring away, huh? See, this is the shift people don't expect. And here's something people don't expect me to say. I'm not even mad at the people who hurt me anymore. And you shouldn't even be mad at the people who hurt you anymore because I believe in the word and I know that forgiveness is for you. You know what I'm saying? Forgiveness is for me to move on. If someone hurt me, I need to forgive them for me. I'm not even mad at the people who hurt me anymore. And I hope and I pray you're not even mad at the people who hurt you anymore because that's the first step in you moving and growing and going on is not being angry and bitter and mad anymore. But if someone gets angry at you when a story is told about how they treated you, maybe it's not about the story that's being told at all. Maybe it's because they haven't forgiven themselves. Maybe it's because shame gets loud when truth walks in the room. Because when someone can say, this happened to me, it usually means they've already let it go. The moment you're able to talk about it and you put it out on the table, normally that's the moment when you begin healing, when you're ready to let it go. And you're learning in that moment, I have to let it go. I have to forgive them because I have been bound and shackled too long by these secrets. I've been bound and shackled too long by the things they've done to me. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to grow. And at that time, you've probably already forgiven them. And then they're still trying to victim blame you, making you feel like you're throwing dirt on their name when really they can't deal with the shame and the guilt that they're feeling when they look in the mirror. I'm going to turn outward for just a minute and I'm going to slow down right here and I'm going to say this clearly. This episode is not just about me. This is for you too. So many of you have sent me messages. You've shared pieces of your stories. You've told me things you've never said out loud before. You've emailed unpolishedwithcrystal@gmail.com. You've told me your stories. I've communicated back and forth with some of y'all. Some of y'all, I've already scheduled Zoom meetings with you for me to share your stories. I've told you things we can discuss, what we can't discuss, and how we cannot get sued, and what we need to do about changing some names. And we talked about all type of things. So this is deeper than just about me. It's not just about me on this episode. This is about you too. So many of y'all have said, I want to come on the podcast. I want to tell my story, but I'm scared. You're scared of being judged. You're scared of the backlash. You're scared of hurting people. You're scared of being blamed. And I want to tell you the truth gently. When you tell your story, it will ruffle some feathers. And that's okay. Let the feathers ruffle. Girl, pluck them feathers out. Pull them out of you, okay? You do not have to carry everyone else's secrets, especially when they intentionally hurt you or harmed you. You are allowed to speak. You are allowed to tell the truth. You are allowed to say, I'm healed. And that's what this podcast is about. Survival doesn't always look graceful. What was meant to bury you did not bury you. They threw dirt on you, but you're still here. And sometimes survival doesn't look graceful. Sometimes it looks ugly. Sometimes it looks loud. Sometimes it looks messy. But survival is survival. And healing out loud is not disrespect, it's release. And I thought about this and I thought about this and I said, you know what, Crystal? Let's do a faith perspective. Honesty was never the enemy, right? Let's think about this for a minute. What if every person in the Bible kept everything a secret? Did you hear what I said? What if everyone in the Bible kept everything a secret? What if nobody told the truth about their failures? What if nobody told the truth about their sins? What if nobody told the truth about their trauma? What if nobody told the truth about their redemption? What if David never spoke? What if Peter stayed silent? What if Paul hid his past? What if Paul refused to acknowledge that he was Saul before he was Paul? None of them were perfect. And if they were, there would have been no reason for Jesus to climb up on that cross and do what he did for us. The world crucified a perfect man. So yes, they're going to criticize imperfect ones like you and me. God doesn't tell us to hide. He doesn't tell us to bury the truth. He tells us to confess and he forgives. But how can there be forgiveness if there is no honesty? How can accountability exist if someone won't even admit what they did? And yet somehow the person who tells the truth becomes the one condemned, not the one who causes the harm. So this is my reminder. You have to reclaim your power, okay? You don't owe silence to anyone who hurt you. You don't owe protection to someone who didn't protect you. And you don't need permission to heal out loud. Telling your story doesn't make you bitter. It makes you brave. And if someone feels exposed by your truth, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It means that light showed up. So if you've been holding your breath wondering if you're allowed to speak, you are. If you've been told you're doing too much, you're not. If you've been made to feel like your healing is inconvenient, it isn't. This podcast is a safe place. Your voice matters here. Your story matters here. Rest when you need to. Heal at your pace and speak when you're ready. Thank you for sitting with me in this, and I'll talk to you soon.